I make the comment that unless you've been through this, you can't understand, and it is more true than I think I would ever. Um, I mean, you just, even me up till Sunday, I kept reading about how you live in this delusional world that they create for you. I thought, oh, okay, I figured that out. And I didn't, not until Sunday. The start of module 2, I actually started waking up and realizing that the true depth of the things that have been done to me, and it's extremely upsetting. I couldn't eat for a couple of days. I was vomiting constantly. It was hard to drink even water. I couldn't sleep. I just had endless, end-to-end nightmares about some of the things that Tara's done to me. All right, this video is going to actually be an update about the murder plot that she had against me. And I have to cover something. Back on Piss Trap Road, Tara McFadden had hired, or was trying to hire, our next door neighbor, Hank. I don't remember his brother's name. Was trying to hire him to either beat me up or maybe even, and it's all this stuff is foggy. It's just weird. It may have even be to kill me. Is what she was hiring him to do. And of course, she couldn't come up with the money. And of course, Hank's brother wanted, her to open her legs. And back then, she actually had some scruples and didn't do that for whatever reason. I mean, she's about the only person that I know of. That's about the only time I ever heard of her actually closing her legs. I mean, for somebody. And anyway, so that never materialized. And I don't remember how I found out about that. I think that the roommate that they had at the time actually kind of liked me, and she told me about it, I think is how that worked out. And she got the hell out of there pretty quick too. I mean, because when you run into a nest of people with these kinds of scruples, with this level of morals, I mean, they make horror movies about this kind of stuff. I mean, there are crime shows dedicated to this kind of stuff. And I mean, to be God's honest truthful about it, man, I was about that close to being a damn crime show. I really was. All right, so I'm going to try to do the screen sharing here on the recording software I'm using for this doesn't necessarily work that great for doing this stuff. And I'm just going to run through some of these kind of quick, but I want it to be there for, well, you'll see why in a second. All right. Well, oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay. Here we go. And I got to move this over because otherwise you guys look at me funny because I'm over here looking at the screen. All right. The biggest thing about that is look at the time, 1:44 a.m. Okay. And I point that out because, all right, Tara gave me her phone back in 2015. I don't remember the whole thing about it. But when I copied the phone, I copied everything. I plugged it to my computer and I had the software at the time to hit copy, and it literally copies the entire phone to my hard drive. And I've been slowly trying to work through that because it is a god-awful mess going through a copy like that. And I have to pull the screenshots out of, it's a nightmare. Okay, but the deal is here, 1:44 a.m. is when this one was taken. And this is a conversation she was having with Suzanne Chappell. And either way, I'll run through it real quick. This is where they were having an argument about what was going on. And this is, unfortunately, the way it copied, there was no dates on these. I can't tell you exactly when it was talking about it, but this is where Suzanne, this is who Suzanne was talking to her about things. And in part, that was, Tara here is, trying to file police reports on me for, I'm going to murder her, and of course, now we know that that's this guilt reflection. We see here, it wasn't Suzanne that was behind all this. It was Tara behind the fact of, I signed over the life insurance policy just to Tara. Okay. Take my little brother off of it. Okay. She forced Suzanne to force me to do that. And she also forced Suzanne to change the will, taking me off the property, to make her in full control of everything, cutting me off, cutting me out of everything, and et cetera, et cetera. This is where she, Tara keeps controlling, screaming that, oh, I'm a control freak, a controller. but in Tara's mind, controlling her means, hey, don't go pose nude for Richard Forsythe. Oh, you control freak. And no, I'm your freaking husband, you know, that's another story. And this is where, you know, still 1:45 a.m., she's calling her out of it, that Tara is the great manipulator. It finally makes sense now. She was just using her, was never a friend. In other words, this is where Suzanne woke up from her version of the Matrix that Tara had created, because Tara manipulates this stuff. She creates these delusions, and you people are dumb enough to buy into these delusions. You are. And I mean, I can't help you with that part. All right, now here's the pivotal one, and I may have to change screens because of the way that sharing works. Yep, and it didn't work right, so I have to close this share. Yes, I know, the sharing window closed. I get pop-ups about this stuff when I do it. Now we have to share the new screen, which is this one. Okay, now this one's important for a couple of things. Look at the time, 9:57 p.m. Okay, now originally in my other video, I thought it was a different way they were around. Now notice the name has changed to Stalker Suzanne. Okay, so from 2 a.m. until 9:57 p.m. that next night, so almost 20, you know, that's what, 22 hours. 22 hours later, I get this message, which means for 22 hours, Tara went through there and erased messages from Suzanne. And I can only guess what they are, but she obviously missed this one. Don't ask me how, because it looks like she was pretty thorough about erasing all the others. But here we go. Now, Tara runs with the false narrative. Oh, it was Suzanne that made the murder plot, and it was just a joke. Everyone laughed. Okay. Here's Suzanne after waking up in the Matrix and realizing what's really going on in the world. And she's saying, and I quote this directly, how many times did you sit here? We had 3 houses set up at the time, and I'd sit there, Tara would go up there and talk to her. How many times did you sit here planning to how you were going to kill Bill? That's me. She was going to murder me. She was just serious enough that Suzanne got uncomfortable about it. She's like, you know, haha, this is not a joke. I mean, Tara obsesses on things, and that's what was going on. So, I mean, Tara planned to murder me, and that's really hard to accept. That's really hard to accept, that another human being would do that to begin with, much less someone you supposedly love. I mean, and it just, but it is something I do accept now. And before Sunday, I was like everyone else. Oh, it's just a joke. She wasn't for real. And I understand now that Tara is a sociopath with absolutely no moral center. The other video about her posing nude for Richard Forsythe, that is part of that. She has no empathy for my feelings whatsoever, because she has none, and she has no moral center. There's no rules. Her wedding vows to her meant absolutely nothing. It was a convenient way to have someone pay for happier stuff and protect you or whatever. All right, so this is going to be a short version. Some of you have already seen this on the other video. And hopefully this will play without stuttering. Last time I tried to do this, it didn't work right. But this is a shortened version of Tara admitting to, well, mostly admitting to the murder plot. So this is not putting this text message out of context, is what I'm trying to do here. Sorry, I was talking to one of the people that you told about planning to murder me.
Huh?
Remember when you and Suzanne planned to murder me for my insurance policy?
No.
That's all right, because I got you on.
I told you 500 times.
Yep.
She brought it up. I took it as a joke because she laughed.
Right.
I was just like, you know, ugh.
Well, apparently you told someone else about it. They're on my Facebook page right now. Commented on the video, because I've already made a video about it, video live stream or whatever about it.
Okay.
Right. So apparently you told them.
Who? Told them what?
I'm not gonna, if they post publicly like they said they're going to,
Okay.
you told them that you were involved with Suzanne for a $250,000 life insurance policy to have sex with me and shoot me up with insulin and kill me. That's what you told them.
Some myth is what they.
But that's the story, right? That you and Suzanne were doing? You were going to kill me?
No.
You're not. No, it was just Suzanne. It was a joke.
As a joke.
Oh, right.
Okay, well, I need
People
to
don't joke about murdering. Now, what I want you to do is just back up and set your box down. Stay right there.
But I'm telling you right now, I did not plot anybody's murder.
Hey, you remember when? Hang on. You didn't. Remember when we went to the DA and told the DA? Huh? Remember when we went to the DA and told the DA? Yeah. The one thing that narcissists hate is it's things like facts, video, text messages, things like that, because they can't gaslight normal people about it. Now, you enablers, you people that just keep denying the fact, oh, Ted would never plan to murder you. That was just a joke. That, you know, ha ha, laugh, whatever. There's no reaching you, and I'd realize that. I accept that. So, to the rest of you people out there in the world, if you see this woman over there in Denton, Texas, and knowing all the shit that I'm laying down on her, she may move even somewhere. I don't know where. It doesn't matter. But if you see this woman, I very much suggest you stay away from her. She sat in my kitchen in here. Colton was over. We were visiting, and she came in, and she was wild-eyed, bug-eyed, and she was just hyper and jumping around. And Colton looked at me, and nothing against Colton, I love the guy, but he's a recovering addict. And afterwards, he said, "Man, is she on the dope?" And I don't know what the dope is, but that's what he calls whatever drugs are. And I was like, man, I don't know. But she sat in my kitchen and told me of a road rage incident she had with somebody, trying to run them off the road, and they're running her off the road. They're doing all sorts of crazy shit. And she took out this huge knife that she's got somewhere in her car and acted like she had a gun, because she's going to stab a motherfucker. I ain't putting up with this shit no more. I'm going to stab a motherfucker. I ain't going to I'm not the little fucking pussy I used to be. I'm going to stab a motherfucker. And she kept making that motion like she was going to stab somebody. So I'm telling you right now, if you see this woman, if you piss her off, and piss her off, you could look at her wrong. And I mean, it just that there's something seriously wrong with her, and she's getting worse. I'll tell you that. It's strongly suggested you just run, just get away from her. Trust me. Anyway, thanks for watching.